then would it be accurate to say that terrorism is acceptable when all options for peaceful settlement have been foreclosed?
Star Trek is famous for turning space adventure into commentary about fear, power, and human behavior, and that sometimes made broadcasters nervous. In parts of the UK and Ireland, Star Trek often landed in early evening slots where lots of kids watched. So episodes featuring disease, madness, torture, or real-world political echoes could bring complaints and quiet scheduling bans. The twist is that these choices were rarely about whether an episode was good or bad. They were about tone, timing, and what a network felt comfortable airing when juveniles might watch no matter the hour. So today we're digging into 3 Star Trek episodes that were kept off key broadcasts for a long time, and the reasons are pretty obvious. Miri.
You, your friends, all the onlys are going to get the disease unless we succeed in what we're doing. You've seen some of your friends get it.
Sometimes it happens.
Not sometimes, all the times, Miri.
The original series episode, Miri, starts with the Enterprise answering a distress call from a planet that looks like an exact duplicate of Earth. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Janice Rand, and 2 security officers beam down into an abandoned town that resembles 1960s suburbia, with silence where a crowd should be. Almost immediately, they're attacked by a disfigured man who collapses in a seizure and dies. The landing party finds a frightened girl named Miri who runs from them because they're grups, or grown-ups. She explains that she and her friends are the only survivors. Then the crew notices purple lesions forming on their bodies. Miri says the spots are the first signs of the disease, and the adults on her world died after a short period of violent madness. In an old medical lab, the crew finds records revealing the plague is a side effect of a life extension experiment. That discovery adds a chilling twist. The children are actually more than 300 years old, aging 1 month every century, but they still think and feel like kids. McCoy races to build a vaccine, yet John, the older boy, leads the group, steals the crew's communications, and cuts them off from the ship's computers and dosage checks. The crisis peaks when jealousy and panic turn the kids into a mob. Miri helps the others kidnap Rand, and the children swarm Kirk until he's bleeding and furious. He convinces them by pointing to the youngest children who will be helpless if the older ones die. John returns the communicators, McCoy tests the vaccine on himself, and the cure holds. In the UK, the BBC aired Miri once in December 1970, received complaints, then left it out of repeat runs through the 70s and 80s. The ban was lifted for the BBC's next showing in the early 90s, and the episode later aired in Britain again on the Horror Channel in 2020. Whom Gods Destroy.
Look at me carefully, Spock. Can't you tell I'm your captain?
Queen to Queen's level 3.
I won't answer that. That's exactly what he wants to know. Very clever, guy. That's exactly what I was going to say. What are you doing?
Arranging to beam down a security team. Are there any objections?
Yes. They may walk into a trap. That's right. Garth can destroy us.
Whom Gods Destroy drops the Enterprise onto Elba 2, home to a Federation facility for the criminally insane. Kirk and Spock arrive with medication that is believed will cure violent insanity, expecting a straightforward delivery. Instead, they find the director, Donald Corey, locked away and the inmates in control. The inmates are led by Garth of Izar, a former fleet captain who became unstable after an injury. He can shapeshift after learning a method meant to heal his body, and he uses that power to impersonate Corey and later Kirk. The danger is not only physical, but also the confusion of not knowing who is real. Garth tries to use Kirk's identity to get aboard the Enterprise and take command, but Scotty refuses because the captain cannot answer a passphrase challenge. That stops the takeover, yet it leaves Kirk and Spock trapped behind the facility's force field while the ship can only watch. From there, the episode turns harsh. Garth demands the passphrase and tortures both Corey and Kirk when he is refused, leaning into sadistic plot elements that some broadcasters flagged as unsuitable for early evening viewing. The story also uses Marta, an Orion woman among the inmates, to push boundaries. Marta attempts to seduce and then kill Kirk, and the banquet scene features her dance, which later became a specific censorship target in the UK. The episode's power games peak when Garth stages a coronation as Master of the Universe and kills Marta with an explosive planted on her body. Spock ends the crisis by stunning both Kirks and exposing Garth. In the UK, censors objected to the torture and the dance as unsuitable for children, and the BBC kept the episode off the air until 1994. Germany also skipped it in the original 1972-73 run and first aired it May 9th, 1988. The High Ground.
I'm finding it difficult to understand many aspects of Ansata conduct. Much of their behavioral norm would be defined by my program as unnecessary and unacceptable.
By my program as well, Data.
But if that is so, Captain, why are their methods so often successful? I've been reviewing the history of armed rebellion, and it appears that terrorism is an effective way to promote political change.
In The High Ground, the Enterprise D arrives on Rutia 4 to deliver medical supplies during a decades-long conflict with separatists called the Ansata. While Crusher, Data, and Worf relax in a cafe, a bomb goes off in a public plaza. Crusher treats the wounded, and she's abducted by a rebel using a strange teleportation method. The method is the Ansata Inverter, a device that shifts users between dimensions so they can bypass even force fields. The advantage comes at a cost. Crusher discovers the inverter causes irreversible DNA damage, and many rebels are sick from overuse. As a hostage, she refuses political cooperation, but still treats the wounded. The rebel leader Kirill Finn insists the Federation is effectively backing the Rudian government by providing aid, and he wants Federation mediation. He escalates by attacking the Enterprise and planting a bomb on its engine, forcing LaForge to remove it and transport it into space. The chaos also lets Finn abduct Captain Picard. Data and Wesley analyze the teleportation signatures to locate the Ansata base, and Riker joins Rudian security chief Alexana Devos in a raid that quickly suppresses the rebels. Finn tries to execute Picard, but Devos kills him, arguing his imprisonment would inflame resistance. Crusher then convinces a young rebel to drop his weapon. In the UK and Republic of Ireland, the controversy was timing and context. A BBC screening report dated July 1st, 1991, warned of obvious parallels with Northern Ireland and the Middle East, plus concerns about violence for a 6 p.m. broadcast near Christmas. The BBC chose not to screen it during the 90s, and RTE did not broadcast it during the initial run. It aired in the UK in edited form on Sky One, November 29th, 1992, unedited on Sky One in May 2006, and unedited on BBC Two after midnight on September 29th, 2007. Other banned episodes.
Is there something I can do for you?
You are very beautiful. Are you aware that you are the most attractive woman on board this ship?
Do you think it's appropriate for you to be here at this hour?
Would you mind taking off your clothing? I'd like to learn more about your anatomy.
The BBC did not just single out Miri, it also excluded 3 other original series episodes from repeat runs for years: Plato's Stepchildren, The Empath, and Whom Gods Destroy. The concern was these stories dealt with unpleasant subjects while the show was scheduled where juveniles would watch. Germany had its own bright line. The original series episode Patterns of Force was not aired on German television until 1999 because it involves a culture explicitly imitating the Third Reich, even though viewers could still find it on home video. In practice, the episode existed, but not on regular broadcast. And within the next generation, Code of Honor became a cautionary tale for a different reason. Jonathan Frakes has said he tried to get it banned from future syndication because of its deeply racist connotations. These examples show how banned often meant a broadcaster's choice, not a permanent lockaway. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these episodes feels the most intense even today? And do you think TV bans ever protect viewers or just make the episode more tempting?